In your head, you are already a success. You see the business, the body, the freedom. You know you are smart enough to build it. But in reality, you haven't left the couch in 3 hours. You tell yourself you'll start at 2 p.m., then 3 p.m., then, I'll just start fresh tomorrow. You look in the mirror and label yourself lazy, but you are wrong. Laziness is choosing to relax. You aren't relaxing. You are suffering. You are desperate to move, but your body won't let you. This isn't a discipline problem. This is a biological freeze response. Your ambition isn't missing. It is actually what's scaring your nervous system into shutting down. So today we stop fighting your brain and we start rewiring it. Let's unfreeze. Act 1. The biological lie. Let's start with the biology. Because if you think your laziness is a character flaw, you will never fix it. Daniel Kahneman, in his book, Thinking Fast and Slow, describes the brain as an energy-hoarding machine. Your brain makes up only 2% of your body weight, but it consumes 20% of your energy. Because energy was scarce for our ancestors, your brain evolved a primary directive: conserve calories. Kahneman calls this cognitive ease. Your brain prefers System 1 thinking, which is fast, automatic, and cheap. Ambition, however, requires System 2 thinking, which is slow, difficult, and expensive. When you sit down to start a massive new project, your brain does a quick energy calculation. It sees high effort and uncertain reward, and it slams the brakes. This isn't you being pathetic. This is your biology working exactly as designed. It is trying to save you from wasting energy on something that might not work. But for the ambitious person, for you, there is something even deeper happening. In The Body Keeps the Score, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk talks about the nervous system's response to threat. We all know fight or flight, but there is a third state, the freeze response. When an animal faces a predator that is too big to fight and too fast to outrun, it plays dead, it shuts down. For the ambitious man, the predator is your own expectation. You have such high standards, you visualize such a perfect outcome, that the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels life-threatening to your ego. You aren't lazy because you don't care. You are lazy because you care too much. You are terrified that if you try, you might fail. Or worse, you might try and it won't be perfect. So your nervous system pulls the emergency brake. It chooses the safety of 0 over the risk of failure. This is why you can work 60 hours a week for a boss, but freeze when it comes to your own side hustle. The boss's work is safe. Your work is vulnerable. So step 1 is forgiveness. Stop beating yourself up. You are not rotting. You are frozen. And you can't scream your way out of a freeze. You have to melt it. Act 2. The War of Art. Now that we understand the biology, let's look at the spiritual battle. Because make no mistake, this is a battle. In his masterpiece, The War of Art, Steven Pressfield gives this force a name. He calls it resistance. Resistance is not passive. It is an active, malevolent force. And here is the rule you need to memorize. The more important a call or action is to your soul's evolution, the more resistance you will feel toward pursuing it. Think about that. You don't feel resistance to watching Netflix. You don't feel resistance to eating junk food. You only feel resistance to the things that matter: the gym, the writing, the business, the difficult conversation. This means that your laziness is actually a compass. The fear you feel, that dread, that isn't a sign you should stop. It is a sign you are going the right way. Ambitious people fall into a specific trap here called the perfectionism mask. We tell ourselves, I'm not starting yet because I'm waiting for the right time, or I need to do more research first. Pressfield tells us this is a lie. Perfectionism is just resistance in a tuxedo. It is fear dressing up as high standards. You are convincing yourself that thinking about work is the same as doing work. It is not. Thinking satisfies the ego. Because in your head, you are already a billionaire. Doing terrifies the ego, because in reality, your first draft is going to suck. As G.K. Chesterton said, anything worth doing is worth doing badly, at least at first. So how do we defeat resistance? How do we unfreeze the nervous system? We don't do it with motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are fickle. We do it with a protocol. Act 3, the protocol. We are going to use the laws of physics, specifically Newton's first law. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. The hardest part of any task is the first 2 minutes. The energy required to start is 10 times the energy required to continue. Here are the 3 steps to break the seal. Step 1. The stupid small entry. In Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about the 2-minute rule. If your ambition is get a six-pack, your brain sees a mountain, it freezes. Change the goal. Your goal is not work out for an hour. Your goal is put on my running shoes. That's it. If your ambition is write a book, your brain freezes. Change the goal. Your goal is write 1 sentence. You have to lower the bar so low that your ego feels stupid saying no to it. Once you put the shoes on, once you write that 1 sentence, you have broken the static friction. You are now an object in motion. Usually you will keep going. But even if you don't, you kept the habit alive. Step 2, the 5-second launch. Sometimes you are lying in bed and the mental paralysis is heavy. You are physically stuck. This is where you bypass the brain entirely. When you have the impulse to act, you have a window of about 5 seconds before your brain kills it with logic and excuses. Do not argue with the brain. Count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And physically move your body. Stand up. Throw the blanket off. Walk out of the room. Action comes before motivation. You do not feel your way into acting. You act your way into feeling. Step 3, the dopamine detox. We have to talk about the phone. If you are lazy, it is likely because your dopamine baseline is fried. Why would your brain want to do the hard work of writing a report for a maybe reward when it can get instant, guaranteed dopamine from a 15-second video? You cannot compete with the supercomputer in your pocket. If you are serious about your ambition, you must practice environment design. When it is time to work, the phone must be in another room. Not face down, not on silent, in another room. Create a boredom vacuum. If you sit in a chair with nothing to do, eventually working becomes more appealing than staring at a wall. Let boredom drive you. Conclusion, the cost of inaction. I want to leave you with one final thought from the Stoics. Memento mori, we act like we have infinite time. We kill time when we are bored. But time is the one resource you can never get back. The tragedy of the ambitious but lazy man is not that he failed. It is that he never found out what he was capable of. There is a version of you, 5 years from now, who is begging you to stand up. He is begging you to put the phone down. He is begging you to take that first messy, imperfect step. Do not let him down. The perfect time is not coming. The feeling of motivation is not coming. There is only the work, and there is only now. If you found value in this, if you are ready to stop drifting and start building, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are building a community of men who are rewiring their minds for the modern world. And if you want to understand why you feel like you're constantly running out of time and how to make the most of the weeks you have left, you need to watch the video Life is Short and How to Make Every Moment Count next. It breaks down the 4,000 weeks philosophy and shows you exactly why waiting for someday is the most dangerous game you can play.